You want to know what the best way to overcome sin is? To overcome evil and challenges? To overcome the darkness and negativity of this world? The evil things that in your life right now? Is to reshape your identity. Because what you believe to be true about yourself, what you believe to be who you are, is what you will live by. Is the actions that you will take. What you believe is how you act. Okay, if you believe that a little bit worthless or that you're not good enough, then that is going to be how you're going to live. Okay, everything about your beliefs correlates to how you live your life. If you believe that you're not quite good enough, then you're not going to go and strive for that success. You're not going to go and strive to find purpose in God, to seek His goodness and His love. Okay, that's just how it is. So think about right now how you are shaping your identity. Think about what you believe to be true about yourself and look to reshape it. And the best way to reshape it is to reshape it through God. Okay, because the best thing that you can have as your identity, as the cornerstone of your identity, is to believe that you are a child of God. When you're in that sin, when you're facing lust, when you're facing a bit of greed, when you're quick to anger, when you're giving into idolatry, when you're a little bit prideful or deceitful, whatever it may be, turn to God. Remind yourself, I'm a child of God. And then say, I'm a child of God, so therefore I do not give into this sin. That is just who I am innately. Because when you say that is who you are, that is who you are innately, that is when everything will shift. Because if you say that's who I am deep down, that I do not give into this sin, then you won't give into the sin. Because you're believing, you're telling your mind that that's not what you do. And in that situation, it is so powerful. Because when you have the sin there, if you have an identity that you're not good enough, an identity based on negativity, you'll easily give in. There's no power there. But when you believe that you're a child of God, that you do not give into that sin and that is who you are, that is when you're not going to give in. That is when you're not going to take those actions. And instead, when you believe you're a child of God, that's when you're going to go and take the positive actions. That is when you're going to go and be purposeful. That's when you're going to go to the gym, give into the positive habits, read the Bible. That's when you're going to go and pray to the Lord. Look to set your family up financially. Look to make the world a better place. And ultimately, you will find success and purpose and fulfillment. Because ultimately, it's not just about success, but it's also about finding fulfillment, and true fulfillment comes from God. Ultimately, so many of your problems can be solved through turning to God. And when you turn to God, it doesn't mean that all of the problems of your life are just going to fade away. No, in fact, sometimes there might be some more problems, because when you turn to God, the enemy doesn't like that. And so he will try to attack you. That's why you may be feeling that negativity right now. That's why you may be struggling with certain sins in your life, because the enemy wants to bring you down. But when you put your faith and trust in God, and when you reshape your identity, that is when you can turn away from that sin and find true fulfillment again. And that's when you're able to overcome obstacles in your life. So write it down on a piece of paper. Really go deep down and think about what you believe to be true about yourself. Think about the subconscious things that your mind might tell you. Maybe you're in a difficult situation. You got one more rep at the gym, or you've got one more page to read, or you've got one more, minute to meditate, whatever it may be. You got 5 more minutes to study. You got 5 more minutes to work in your business, and then you give up. Why is that so? Okay, what happens when you're faced with a temptation? Do you give in? And if you do, why is that? What is going on in your brain that makes you give in? That makes you just fly into that negativity without even thinking? Okay, go deep down. And then from there, maybe you might not be able to think it better, but the most important thing is then to write down your new identity and then just repeat it over and over and over in your mind. Okay, I am a child of God. I do not give in to this sin. Okay, that is just who I am innately. Okay, I'm disciplined. I'm motivated. And it's not really an affirmation. but it's just what you really believe. It's not like, yes, I'm positive necessarily, but it's like, I'm disciplined. I'm a disciplined young man. That is who I am. And when you have that, in those temptations, okay, you have clarity, you have focus now, because you've got your eyes set on a purpose, on a plan that God has for you. And ultimately, when you set your eyes on that, when the temptation comes, your mind is focused on that. So you go, no, I'm not giving into that sin. No, I'm not going to go and waste up. I'm not going to go and scroll and give into distractions and stuff. No, because I'm a disciplined young man. I'm a child of God and I've got a purpose. Okay, and you set your mind on that. It's also really important to have a why. Why are you doing it? So that you can turn closer to God, that you can fulfill His plan, but also so that you can support your family. Okay, have those deep-rooted whys, so you can help your family, also so that you can reshape your own self, your sense of self. You can find confidence and self-acceptance. Okay, so reshape your identity, write it down, and just repeat it in your mind. And ultimately, when you really find a deep-rooted identity, when you really change your identity and you reshape it into a positive light, that you're disciplined, that you're a child of God, whatever it may be, that is when you'll see the real shift in your actions, in your habits. Because when you have to do the positive habits, if you think you're not good enough, you're not going to do them. But if you in your mind have the belief that you are a child of God, that you are a purposeful young man, that you are disciplined, that you're consistent in the positive habits, and that you're made for greatness through God, that is when you're going to take the actions. It also brings up a level of energy. Because if you say, I'm not good enough, you've got no energy. You're not going to do the things. You're not going to do the positive habits. But when you say, no, I am a child of God. Okay, I'm disciplined. Okay, I don't give in to sin. I do the positive habits. That is when you're going to do the positive habits. Because you've got a sense of energy. You feel G'd up. You feel ready to go. And ultimately, that is when you'll make the change. That is when you're going to go and do the positive habits and ultimately improve in your life. So there's a couple of different things in there in this video, but the main thing is just reshape your identity and find purpose in God. And once you reshape your identity, your actions will follow. Your habits and routines will follow, and you will be consistent. You'll be able to continue to grow, improve through Christ, and renew your life. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please support the channel in any way. If you want to like or subscribe, and have a truly blessed day.
Yo, I cannot fail if the Lord's with me. No. Same way if the Lord's with you. Exodus 14 verse 14. I need to be still when the Lord comes through. That's true. Not gonna be easy. Push through the pain like a wisdom tooth. For real. He don't leave us alone. He gave us man's the spirit.